Recently, a bunch of changes were made to Elden Ring with a new patch going live, which raises the question, what is now actually the best build in Elden Ring? Well, I got you covered. A lot of builds are now stronger than ever, and this video will show you why. We have to start off with one of the biggest winners of the patch, my Paladin build. My Holy Paladin uses both Great Stars, which is a powerful Great Hammer, in combination with Prayerful Strike as its Asher to get insane heal on hit and just have amazing damage and poise damage. The developers must have been on crack when they changed the game and thought both the weapon as well as the Asher needed a buff when they were already really OP, which makes this build now god tier and stronger than ever. Combine that with a bunch of Paladin themed incantations that also got a buff that are in fact a part of my Paladin's arsenal and kit, since it is a hybrid strength and fate build where these incantations just fit the build and theme perfectly, and this build is now perfection itself. So many buffs, have fun. Something less holy but equally perfect for sure is the corrupted version of the Holy Paladin, my Demon Paladin build. It is also a hybrid strength and fate build. Blasphemous Blade is the Demon Paladin's weapon and was already one of the strongest weapons in the game, as you probably know, but its Asher actually got a slight buff as well after the recent patch, making it even better. My Demon Paladin build is now stronger than ever for the same reason as the Holy Paladin really. And with various demonic incantations getting a buff as well, this build emerges as a major winner after patch 1.07. Speaking about winners, the Nightblade is here. My Nightblade build pretty much got buffed in every aspect possible. The Nightblade is my index mid and late game build and uses Wing of Astle as its main weapon, and Wing of Astle's Asher Nebula got a really nice buff, even though again it was already very powerful. So why? We don't know. Blowing up everything was never this easy before though. The Nightblade is also specialized in a bunch of Spellblade, Dark and Night sorceries, and hey, would you look at that, pretty much every single Spellblade sorcery in the game that the Nightblade uses got a buff. Add to that multiple legendary spells that the Nightblade uses got a very significant buff, and we can safely say that this build is now stronger than ever. This makes by extension my Samurai Mage build also a winner, since it's the Nightblade's brother and truly embraces the idea of getting OP early with an int dex build. It is a really fun hybrid build. Pretty much every single sorcery that the Samurai Mage uses got buffed, and don't forget, the Samurai Mage is a three-way type of build. The Samurai Mage uses powerful katanas such as the Moonveil katana that, if you may or may not know, is an absolute crazy katana. And next to that, the Samurai Mage also uses a really powerful magic imbued Uchi katana with Carrion Grandeur in conjunction with all the sorceries that it uses, and everything added up makes my Samurai Mage build in a better spot than it has ever been before. Talking about builds in great spots, let's talk about the Black Flame Rogue. The Black Flame Rogue is the definition of breaking your opponent in every aspect of combat. This dangerous assassin makes use of multiple lethal daggers, the best daggers in the world of Elden Ring really, and quickly destroys everything in combat through crazy poise damage, the highest possible critical damage in the game, and just overall insane damage. This assassin also dabbles heavily into the arts of Destined Death and the Black Flame, of which both got buffs in various forms, making the Black Flame Rogue stronger than ever. Black Flame spells are a form of pyromancy and thus practiced by various pyromancers, including my pyromancer, and pyromancy is in a better spot than ever before with, again, various buffs to a lot of different pyromancy spells, and don't forget, pyromancy spells were already buffed once before. In my pyromancer build and video, I show you I can do a full playthrough as a pyromancer, and really the most powerful pyromancer possible is created in that video, and you will truly learn how to become a pyromancer, where you can erase the existence of everything you're facing within mere seconds. Even Burn O Flame got a buff, which was already an absolute ridiculous spell, and really it's the same story for Flame Fall upon them. Just like a pyromancer or a fire mage really, with so many buffs to so many sorceries, there is no other possibility than to say say that my mage builds are also stronger than ever. For every phase of the game, relevant spells have gotten a buff, and by all means, patch 1.07 was a blessing to any mage enthusiast. So if you're up for a new pure intelligence run using sorceries only, you couldn't have chosen a better time. And I have covered every part of the game with my mage videos showing you how to become the most powerful mage possible. So you can start off with my get OP early video for a mage, then transition into the mid game mage powerhouse, and then finish off with my late game mage gold build, and you'll be covered for the entire playthrough using so many fun and powerful sorceries. You'll have a blast. Strength is more powerful than ever, meaning a pure strength build is so as well. And when you think of pure strength, you think of big weapons such as colossal swords as well as colossal weapons. I made pure strength builds using both colossal swords as well as using colossal weapons, and you really couldn't go wrong with it before the recent patch, and now you definitely can't go wrong with it either, obviously. These are very solid and OP options, and both these types of weapons got various buffs to them, making them smoother to use than ever before. Whether you want to go with my Guts Greatsword setup and smash everything into obliteration, or my dual wielding colossal weapon setup using big bonk weapons like the Giant Pressure or the Prelate's Inferno Crasher to literally stampede your opponents, you're going to be OP. So check those videos out, it's just really fun to swing big weapons and defeat your opponents like that. Speaking of fun, my Arcane and Fate hybrid builds got buffed in a lot of different ways as well. But to unlock the next part of the video, make sure to give the video a like, subscribe, hit the bell, everything, you know, or the video will stop right here. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, do it or I will find you. Like sorceries, a lot of incantations got a buff as well recently. My Arcane and Fate hybrid build makes great use of various Dragon Communion spells, and in my opinion, the best and most fun incantations to really optimize its heavy investment in both Fate and Arcane to destroy everything in the game. Now, whether we're talking Dragon Maw, Frenzied Burst, Lightning Spear, Black Flame, which incantation you want to name, from my Arcane and Fate builds, the buffs targeted all of them and are now stronger than ever. When combining Arcane and Fate, you also get access to the powerful Dragon Communion School, and you can blast your opponents off the earth with a lot of dragon spells, and all of these spells are just really strong and fun to use. Now, one incantation in particular, Rolling Breath, got a nerf to its Scarlet Rot buildup, but it really doesn't matter. You only have to proc Scarlet Rot once and your opponent is dead. So use this breath for a few seconds longer than before and the result is still the same. But this time with all of the other stuff in those builds actually being stronger now as well. Thanks to the Arcane part of my build, we utilized nice weapons in those videos as well, such as the Redufia. Redufia was already a really good weapon that you can pick up within like 2 minutes of starting a new playthrough, but it also got a buff this patch. Yes, Redufia is also a bleed weapon, by the way. It was and is a really strong weapon, utilized really well within a really strong build that is now even stronger. Definitely check those out. When we're talking about things to check out, you cannot miss the good old classic, my Samurai Get OP Early Guide. My Samurai is really just stronger than ever because Bloody Slash got a pretty significant buff, and Bloody Slash is one of the main Ashes of Wars that the Samurai uses, and before you could already slice your way through the game easy peasy like a hot knife through butter, and now it is even stronger. Not only that, since the other main Ash of War that the Samurai uses, the Blood Blade, also got buffed very significantly. 1 + 1 is 3, as 2, and there is just not much to say about it. The Samurai utilizes amazing weapons like the Naga Kiba in a dual wield katana setup with a Blood Uchi katana, and like I said, it is one of my Get OP early videos, so you can do all of that right at the start of a new playthrough. The Naga Kiba has an amazing reach and combines very well with an Uchi katana, making my Samurai build not only the best dual katana setup you can make early on, but also the best blood setup you can make early on, and it's more true than ever now thanks to the buffs to both Blood Blade and Bloody Slash. When we're talking bleed, however, in a seppuku setup, that got a nerf. Now you might think that the most powerful bleed build would be affected by this, and the answer is yes, it did kinda, but thankfully I used Scavenger's Curve Sword in the most powerful bleed build, and that is the weapon that I showcased in that video, and they're still top tier honestly. Scavenger's Curve Swords are the only curve swords in the game that have innate bloodlust buildup, so you can run occult in them and scale both their bloodlust buildup as well as their actual raw damage through the same stat. This leads to a really efficient stat distribution, and even with the nerfs to seppuku and dual wielding blood setups, The Scavenger's curved sword is still very strong, simply due to the reason that it has the moveset of the curved sword weapon class, but actually also comes with innate bloodlust buildup. Yes, you will proc bleed a bit slower now, but with my setup your damage output will overall still be top tier, since all of the investment in Arcane will make your normal damage bonkers, and you will still get those juicy bleed procs every few jump attacks, proccing all kinds of bonuses to your damage output. That's why I'm definitely still advocating for running an occult Scavenger's curved sword build, especially using my setup, and honestly it was just too OP, but now it's just regular OP if that's a thing. The Cold-Blooded Flame is the strongest Ice Bleed Fire combo wombo build that you'll ever see. Using Twin Blades and sick movesets, you completely destroy your opponents with my Cold-Blooded Flame build, and this build is really barely affected by the changes to dual wielding status effect buildup. Twin Blades hit your opponents up to 6 times within a single jump attack, making it the class that is the least affected by changes to dual wielding. My Cold-Blooded Flame also makes use of various very powerful Ashes of Wars that embody the spirit of combining frostbite and bleed based damage in one build to make it a harmonious build that makes quick work of anyone, and it is in a really good spot right now. This build completely perfects the idea of applying both frostbite and bloodlust buildup on your enemies at the same time. Now what about builds that build up every single main status effect in existence at the same moment on your enemies? Now that is exactly what my Artist build is, and the Artist has got you covered. Don't worry, the Artist applies Scarlet Rot, Bleed, Frostbite and Poison on your enemies all at the same time. There is good news here as well, because both of the Artist Ashes of Wars have been buffed in fact, making this build stronger than it already was. Applying Poison and Frostbite in particular has never been more easier than before as with my Artist build, and keep in mind the Artist uses the speed of one of the fastest weapon classes in the game to quickly apply multiple status effects such as the remaining Bleed and Scarlet Rot, so it is more powerful than ever right now. So combine that with the fact that the Artist has received 2 buffs for 2 different types of Ashes of Wars, this build is now more powerful than ever. Quality builds or strength and dexterity hybrid builds are top tier, and yet again we see the same trend here with various buffs to different types of weapon classes that have prominent strength and dexterity weapons, and it's an even better option now. If you consider early game pickups or you just want to get OP early with a strength and dexterity build, then Bloodhound Fang absolutely takes the crown there. That was the case before the recent patch, and it still definitely takes the crown now. Bloodhound Fang is an absolute monster and is also a curved greatsword, so it benefits from the class buff, making my Vagabond Knight get OP early build and video even stronger than the insanely OP status it already had. When we consider quality builds, we cannot omit the Death Knight. The Death Knight is one of the most brutal builds ever created. Falling Star Beastjaw was already a very strong contender for strongest weapon in the game with the amazing utility and damage that this thing has. Then I took it to the next level and took this amazing weapon and combined it with Giza's Wheel, which is also a strength and dexterity colossal weapon, and if you watch my video you'll understand why you have the perfect strength and dexterity build in my opinion when you combine these 2 weapons. And this combination came to be my Death Knight build. Both of these weapons now benefit from the colossal weapon buffs, and this build is really just too strong. There is not much else to say. Check that video out, you'll know what I mean and you'll know all the details. My Raging Tank 2-in-1 build using Fingerprint Stone Shield was broken beyond repair, so it is not a surprise it was nerfed only a few weeks after the video's release. The developers may or may not have seen the video, taken a big dump on it and tried to murder it completely. But we need to stay one step ahead of the developers, always, which is why I made sure to make my tank build utilize various things so it will always stay OP. It is still by far the best tank build out there. The fact that you have such an easy time just killing everything with this build is what makes it god tier. You barely get any damage ever while dealing great damage yourself. Now the fingerprint stone shield might have been nerfed in multiple ways, but its guard boost is still the highest in the game, and all the reduction values it has for the different types of damage in the game are still in the highest brackets when you consider all the shields in the game, and honestly the nerf was needed. My raging tank build goes from broken beyond repair to just really OP and good now. Now some weapon classes were completely untouched with patch 1.07, but if you want to play the game in a completely different way, definitely check out whips. This is my recommendation. They have a very unique moveset and the Punisher is specialized in them. The Punisher is the mascot of my whips build and video, and the Punisher will guide you on how to use whips for an entire playthrough, completely destroying the game in a really fun way from the moment you load up a new playthrough all the way till you see those credits. But hey, there is more, because the most powerful ranger can definitely not be forgotten about. Bows make up for a very fun playthrough in Elden Ring, and I showed you how to dominate every aspect of the game, whether it's early, mid or late game, in my bow only guide, and make sure to check it out because it's a very niche and refreshing way to play the game. In my ranger build, I really went the distance to make a bow only build and play through OP in various situations because it is one of my personal favorite RPG archetypes, and like I said, that video will set you up with a playthrough with a lot of fun and actually provide you the means to completely destroy the games as a ranger. Every video and reference you saw in this video will be in the description in order of appearance. Honestly, you can summarize this video and the recent patch with just saying that pretty much all my builds are even stronger now than they already were, so check the ones you like the most or just check all of them because yeah, why not, right? Haha. Either way, thank you for watching. There are a lot more crazy Elden Ring builds on the way from my side, so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell thing so you're the first to get notified when I upload something. Give the video a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments.